So the reason why I'm giving this background on what happened in New York is because the behavior that I've experienced here is been a result of me having money to spend. And this money, the only reason why I have it is because I won a court case, I was given disability, I saved the money, and by saving the money and winning the case, I also won the phony case that was brought against me earlier with my family in court. And supposedly the other cases with other people who testified falsely against me in court. And to this day, I've not been given the opportunity to take all of these people to court and prove them wrong. And that includes the city and the state of New York and the American government, because that's what I want to do and that's what I'm going to do. By testifying at City Hall and by testifying with the Senate, I was able to catch them in all the lies that have been propagated in terms of the proposition that was passed, and now all of these people don't have to worry about getting evicted. They don't have to worry about paying rent. Who benefited from that? Homosexuals and their families, predominantly, which is something that I found out later on through time. That was in 2016. At the Senate hearing, that was all about Albany and New York. And that also fed into all the laws and legislation that changed in order for people to remain in their homes and in their houses and their condos, etc. Now remember, I'm the one who's homeless. And a lousy $29,000 don't get you very far. Okay? I'm owed a lot more money. They were stealing money from me and my family going back into the 1990s. And since then, we have not recovered that money. Okay? I most certainly not have. Because if I did, I wouldn't be here. And if I did, I would have a house. I wouldn't be paying some person money that I could be using much wiser and more utilitarian. Even if I decided to move from New York to somewhere else, I would buy a house or I would get a condo or I would get an apartment. And that's it. I don't need anyone to change my bedding or sweep my floors. I can change my own bedding. I can sweep my own floors. Okay? The last house that I lived in New Jersey was broken into routinely by the police. And at the time, this was this was between 2008 and 2009. The police routinely broke in. People broke in. They pretended there was burglary. They didn't steal anything, but they would break into the apartment when I wasn't there, and they created a system of fear and anxiety because they didn't want me to leave the apartment without doing anything wrong. And this is when I first really started seeing they were contaminating my food, etc. So this has been going on for a long time. This is 2008. The rent there was $800 when I lived in the studio below, $800 a month. And when I moved upstairs, it was $1,050 that I paid with Stephen Marty. Okay? So that alone is enough information that I can use in court to sue the living daylights out of EconoLodge, Motel 6, the city state of California, the police, etc. Because they're acting like I'm some sort of homeless guy who somehow got this money and he's spending this money here when they know that that's not the truth. Okay? And this is what these people have been doing. So, since they think they're going to bait me, I'm baiting them. And the only way they can get me back is by hurting me, inflicting harm on me and my body and my person, and raping. Which they're stupid because they're going to get sued. And I'm going to put them in jail for what they're doing. I'm going to sue them and I'm going to put them in jail for what they're doing. That's guaranteed. Okay? What else other information I have to put on here. As far as my family is concerned, I love my family very much. My love for my family does not change. All of the external factors, everything that's going on in the world, like I said, I don't give a flying fuck. The world can fucking explode for all I care. I love my mother, I love my aunt, I love my two brothers, and that's it. Nothing, God, devil, heaven, hell, and no fucking human being on the face of the earth is going to change that. Okay? And that's it. If my mother was with me here normally, she would be, I think, proud of me. And there's no way in the world we'd be spending all our money in fucking San Bernardino. Okay? No way. Okay? We'd be somewhere else, a lot nicer, a lot cleaner. And we wouldn't be living in a motel sharing it with drug addicts and prostitutes and laborers and people who don't have anywhere to live. As I said, I'm speaking this way, but these people don't have any compassion for me. They have no sympathy, no empathy, no nothing. Okay? I've spoken to a few people, and their behavior is always the same way. They act as if they're suffering and they're going through things and whatever, but they don't care about me or the other person. And I see the same behavior with everybody. I watch the people in the store, watch people buying things in the store, the police, everything. It's a very toxic atmosphere, and this toxicity is plaguing the entire country. Okay? The entire country. I'm sure the rich people sit around and say, wow, we're glad we're rich. I'm sure that's what they say. The super wealthy sit around and say, wow, we're glad we're wealthy, like Jeff Bezos, okay? Or Bill Gates. Sure, they have to maybe stay in and be quarantined a little bit. So what? Big deal. Okay? They can read Kafka over and over again. How's that? The Hunger Artist is one of my favorite stories. They can read Kafka all over and over again. They can read Camus. Okay? They can read The Stranger over and over again. Great classics that talk about the human condition. The reason why I'm making those jokes is because, I'm a person who likes to read, and I've read, a few good books in my time, and it's interesting allegories into the behavior that you see of the present. So I'm going to end this by saying, in the last 2 minutes, is that how will the writers and the artists and the people of tomorrow, if civilization doesn't come to an end, how will they remember this time? Will they remember this time as a time of confusion and pain and death and suffering and pseudo-anarchy? Or will it be remembered as something else? That's the question I will leave everyone with.